twins graduate together. But why did only one get a standing ovation? Hey guys, you won't believe the story I'm about to tell you. Or will you? I mean, let's be real. It's not every day you hear about a twin and their sibling with opposite parental treatment, right? I mean, I've read those soap opera descriptions, and I'm pretty sure mine would have to be given a rating of dramatic cliffhanger meets melodrama. I'm one of those weirdos who graduated with their twin sister on the exact same day. Yep, you heard that right. My twin sister, Sarah, and I shared the spotlight, literally, in our graduation photo. Our principal even assigned us to sit in front of the same principal, just so it looked like we were flanking the principal's desk. While my sister was busy taking selfies with our parents and sharing them on social media, I'm pretty sure our family was trending on Facebook that day. I was dealing with my own superpower, the gift of ignoring my parents' comments whenever they'd say something nice, but not nice at the same time. You see, my mom had this annoying habit of saying, "I'm so proud of you, but don't get too cocky. It's just the end of high school," while simultaneously comparing me to my twin sister. Yeah, I was a highlight reel of awkward high school moments. So, it's no surprise my twin sister would get praised for even the smallest achievements. She could eat a whole pizza by herself, and it was like the world was applauding. You know those times when a parent yells, "Clean your room. You're such a mess," but immediately forgets and tells their other child, the golden child, that it's an exciting hobby? Yeah, welcome to my life. Growing up, everyone thought we were the kind of kids who'd have a huge fight and then kiss it off. I always thought we'd be like the Bose twins from the movie It Takes Two. Unfortunately, our version was more like the opposing teammates in a high school soccer game. Let's rewind even further. When we were younger, our parents would sometimes have sleepovers with our best friends. Yes, that was a thing, and secretly reward Sarah with a free movie or a ride to the mall. Meanwhile, I just get a pat on the back and a comment like, "You're such a sweetie for looking out for your sister." What? Let's talk about those awkward moments when you're trying to adult, but your parents still think they're right. Since I'm a twin, I should have been treated equally, right? Wrong. My sister, Sarah, was always the golden child. She'd get the newest phone, iPad, and Xbox. Meanwhile, I was the kid who apparently couldn't do anything right, even though I maintained good grades and earned that football scholarship. I remember this one time, my mom made me wear a hand-me-down shirt from my sister. I was like, "Mom, this is so ugly." And she was all, No, you'll be fine with it." She wouldn't even notice that my sister got a brand new Dior backpack, but I got a H&M discounted one. Yeah, it was a real drama fest in the house. But let me tell you, it wasn't just the materialistic things. Oh no. Growing up, my parents would often have slumber parties with our friends, and while they were getting all cozy, they'd take Sarah on these secret adventures. She'd get to stay up late playing video games with our friends, and I'd be stuck in my room doing homework. When I'd ask them, "Hey, can I go too?" they'd say, "Not tonight, sweetie. But you're my little sweet pea." That's when I started to develop my superpower. The gift of ignoring my parents' comments whenever they'd say something nice, but not nice at the same time. Yeah, I was a pro at that. I could ignore the whole "I love you, but don't get too cocky" thing and say "I'm proud of you, but don't get too loud" thing. It was like a childhood game, and I was the master. Why was I not good enough? Was it because I'm not as stylish as Sarah? I mean, have you seen her outfits? Always so put together and Instagram perfect. It was like, "Sarah, I'm grateful for you getting A's in math. But first, let's talk about your messy room." There was this one incident where I made a homemade video for Facebook. I put so much love and effort into it, and what do my parents do? Ignore it completely. Meanwhile, Sarah's 3-minute YouTube video about doing her braids became viral. All she did was make a silly video, and suddenly she's a social media star. It was frustrating to say the least. Growing up with a sibling who gets all the attention can be weird. Sometimes, I'd look at her and be like, "Wait, you're still being talked about? Great job, sis." And she'd just smile and say, "Thanks, bro." No problem, sis. No drama. It was me who needed to adjust. You know what's even crazier? When I was younger, our parents would have sleepovers with our best friends and secretly reward Sarah with a free movie or a ride to the mall. Meanwhile, I got a pat on the back and a comment like, "You're such a sweetie for looking out for your sister." That's basically what it was like growing up. So, I learned to be okay with being ignored. The unexpected visitor, I've always been a responsible person, or at least that's what I thought. See, my family was getting ready for their dream vacation to Hawaii, a tropical paradise my parents had been planning for years. My mom, my dad, and my little sister were practically skipping out the door with excitement, leaving me to wave goodbye from the porch. I was thrilled for them, but also, well, not so much. It seemed like the whole world could just forget about me for a week, and I wouldn't even notice. Or so I thought. So, on that sun-kissed morning, with the vacation vibes still high, I was just about to get back to my favorite TV show when my doorbell rang. I opened it to find a stunner standing on my porch. She looked exactly like my mom, which is not surprising if you consider the gene pool, but still, it was like observing a doppelganger. Same honey brown eyes, same high cheekbones, same everything. I swear, my jaw dropped so hard it nearly kissed my knees. For a moment, I couldn't process what was happening. My brain froze like a brain freezer on a hot summer day. The only thing I could do was stare and try to remember my name. I was so taken aback that I think I might have even checked my reflection in the window to see if I was somehow, weirdly, split in two and wasn't sure which one was real. The visitor, with her striking resemblance to my mom, seemed entirely unaware of my inner turmoil. She flashed me a gentle smile and said it like it was no big deal. "Hi, sweetie. I'm Linda, your mom's cousin. I hope I didn't interrupt anything important." Everything inside me screamed, "Wait a minute, Linda's my mom's cousin? Are you sure?" But my voice, that still sedated Bishock thing, decided it was better to remain silent and observe. After all, some mysteries are worth revealing piece by little piece. I must admit, I felt a bit confused. You see, I was certain my mom had never mentioned a cousin named Linda, but at the same time, I couldn't deny the uncanny resemblance. I mean, it wasn't just facial features. There was something about the way she moved, almost fluidly, like my mom when she wasn't bothered about anything. Maybe I'm overthinking, and maybe I'm just underprepared for this first encounter thing. Who knows? One thing's for sure, nothing about that day seemed remotely whatsoever like vacation prep. I couldn't believe my eyes when Linda stood on my porch, waving a gentle smile. She looked exactly like my mom, like twinsies minus the twin part. I was already feeling a bit off balance, what with my life being in chaos, but this woman was about to shake things up even more. So when she said, "I'm your mother's cousin," I was like, sure, right, and the sky is purple in Hawaii. I mean, I'd heard of wild cousins before, but this was taking it to a new level. She thought she was just popping by for a casual chat, but little did she know, she was about to unleash a storm of confusion upon me. Her hands were shaking, trembling like a leaf on a windy day. I'm pretty sure I could see a faint whistle on her finger. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but she was definitely nervous. And I'm thinking to myself, "What's up, lady? Did you accidentally invite the entire extended family to my doorstep without telling me?" The resemblance was uncanny. I mean, I've seen those pictures of Dad's sister, and she's definitely not as aesthetically pleasing as my real mom. I'm not being mean, just stating facts. This woman Linda looked so much like my mom that I started to wonder if I'd finally snapped and was living in some sort of parallel universe. As I stared at her, trying to piece together this weird puzzle, I realized that this woman wasn't just a doppelganger. She was actually trying to convey something to me. Her eyes locked onto mine, and I felt like I was under some sort of mind-read spell. She was trying to tell me something. But what? And why? Then she pulled out this envelope. Inside was a check for $50,000. Just like that. She said it was to help me start my life, to make up for. Well, she didn't finish that sentence. My hands were shaking as I held that check. Part of me wanted to tear it up. I mean, who accepts money from a stranger? But another part of me felt like this was somehow right. Oh boy, when my family got back from their dream vacation to Hawaii, I was ready for the fallout. And by fallout, I mean full-blown family drama. As soon as they found out about Linda's money, they were like a pack of wild animals sniffing out a scent. My dad, being the ultimate drama king, was the first to open his mouth. "It's not fair that she's getting all this money while you're just getting crumbs," he shouted, waving his hands wildly. My mom and twin sister, Sarah, were like a well-oiled machine, parroting his words and making sure to include all the necessary eye-rolling. An exasperated sighs. "Maybe if you were more like your sister, you wouldn't need handouts from strangers," my dad said, his voice dripping with disapproval. I swear, it was like he'd suddenly developed a PhD in parental instincts or something. Sarah, of course, was all about getting her hands on that money. "I'm your twin, we should share everything," she whined. "I mean, I get it, we're twins and all, but come on, Sarah. You're not exactly known for your financial skills." I can already imagine her blowing the cash on a Versace handbag or a shopping spree in Rodeo Drive. My mom, bless her heart, was trying her best to mediate the situation. Okay, kids, let's not fight about this. We can talk about it rationally. But before she could finish, my dad interrupted her with a loud verbal tennis racket of, I'm the parent, you're the child, don't question my authority. Ah, the classic paternal tantrum. Meanwhile, I was just standing there, wondering how my life had become like a soap opera. Who needs guiding light when you have your name versus the money fight playing out in your living room? I think it was at this point that I realized I needed to get out of there, pronto. The confrontation was getting too intense, and I didn't want to pull a Cinderella on them. You know, get taken advantage of, lose all respect for the man or mom, and end up on the streets singing a show tune. I grabbed my backpack and said, hey, I think I'm just going to go to my room and stuff. Later. And with that, the fierce protest of my family was momentarily replaced with an uncomfortable silence. Sarah, the self-proclaimed social mediator, piped up, can I get some of that money now? Later. Her attempt at trying to keep me in the fight. Yeah, good luck with that, sis. I think I'll just set sail for college now. Time for me to paddle my own canoe for a while, it seems. I mean, the college dorm laundry wasn't going to do itself, and with Linda's money, I could start fresh, in more ways than one. Who needs drama when you have clean sheets and a new social life, right? Oh boy, where do I even begin? I mean, I've seen my family get into some pretty intense arguments before, but this time was something special. It was like a perfect storm of drama, tantrums, and unhinged commentary all mixed together in a delicious, messy blender. I walked into the living room, where my family was waiting for me with bated breath, and immediately I knew something was off. My dad was pacing back and forth, ranting about how I was taking advantage of Linda's generosity, while my mom and twin sister, Sarah, were huddled together like two vultures waiting for their next meal. I could almost smell the guilt and resentment wafting through the air like a toxic cloud. So where's the party? I quipped, trying to lighten the mood. I thought we were waiting for the royal family to arrive, not the cast of The Real Housewives. My dad halted his pacing and turned to me with a scowl that would put Cookie Monster to shame. This isn't a joke, kid. Linda's money is not a trust fund for you to splurge on designer labels and vanity expenses. I chuckled, trying to contain my amusement. Dad, you're being ridiculously hyperbolic. I've never even thought about buying a designer anything in my life. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'd rather wear mismatched socks than flaunt someone else's cash. My mom joined in, ganging up on me with Sarah by her side. You're being so irresponsible. Linda's money is a blessing, and you should be grateful, she huffed. Grateful? Are they kidding me? I'd rather be grateful for a good night's sleep without Sarah snoring like a chainsaw than try to navigate this kooky conversation. I am grateful, I said, trying to keep my cool. Grateful that I have a job, grateful that I've been working hard to save up for college, and grateful that I have the chance to start fresh. But I'm not going to let Linda's money define me as a person. Sarah piped up, but what about some of that money? Can't we have a say in how it's distributed? Her logic was slightly shaky, but I'd be a hypocrite to not consider her side. Dude, sorry, I said. I'm not doing a Secret Santa thing at this point. I've got my eye on college expenses, and I'd rather not get caught up in this he said she said family drama. The room fell silent, except for Sarah's whining in the background. My dad took a deep breath, his face puffing up like a blowfish about to blow. I'm the parent here, and what I say goes. You're not going to take Linda's money without some of us having a say in how it's spent. Period. I shook my head, surprising even myself with a smile. Dad, you might be the king of drama, but I'm not your unwitting puppet. I've got my own life to live, and I'm not going to let you or Sarah dictate my every move. With a flourish of my arms, I waved goodbye to my family and headed out the door, feeling finally free. But little did I know, the drama was only just beginning, and this time, it would get a whole lot juicier. Moving out was the best decision I ever made. I got a small apartment near campus, started my college classes, and began to feel like my own person for the first time. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. Linda reached out again, asking to meet for coffee. This time, she had something important to tell me. The truth revealed. I swear, I was sipping on a freshly brewed coffee. The good stuff, not that fancy schmancy designer coffee my dad always buys, when Linda dropped the bombshell. I mean, I was already expecting some juicy twist, but not this. Not this. I'm not your mother's cousin, she said, her voice shaking like a leaf in a hurricane. I raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Like in a we're long-lost cousins kind of way. I asked, trying to clarify. But no, it was more like I'm the real deal biological mom kind of way. Apparently, I was a secret baby, born under mysterious circumstances involving teenage angst, family pressure, and the need for a new sofa. Who knew? My biological mom, Linda, and my adoptive mom, Mary, were actually sisters, and Mary had raised me as her own. Wait, what? It all made sense now. The favoritism, the distance, the ridiculous hand-me-downs. It was all because my adoptive mom had been feeling guilty about not being the biological parent. No wonder I always felt like the adopted child in my own family. But here's the kicker. I had always assumed my family was perfect, just a little quirky. I mean, who needs perfection when you have chaos, right? So, imagine my surprise when Linda revealed she was my biological mom. I'm pretty sure I face-planted into my coffee cup. Not because I was shocked, although that was a thing, but because I was so entertained by the drama. What's a 16-year-old social life without a few scandals, right? Linda's been trying to get in touch with me for years, but Mary, my adoptive mom, kept pushing her off, saying she didn't want to disrupt our lives. Yeah, because there's nothing like a surprise biological mom reunion to brighten up your day. But the real question on everyone's mind, including mine, how did this all go down? Like, what was the original plan? Did they stage an intervention? Or was it more like a let's adopt a child and call it a day kind of thing? Okay, so it turns out Linda was a teenager when she got pregnant. She told her family about the pregnancy, and according to her, it was all game show moment time. Everyone freaked out. Not in a let's support the new mom kind of way, but more in a this is a termification kind of way. And so, after some secret meetings, threatening phone calls, and an anonymous voicemail or two, Linda's family managed to persuade her to give me up for adoption. Cue the soap opera music. Apparently Mary, Linda's older sister, took in me as her own and raised me as her child. No judgments, folks. It's all in the name of family love, right? So, here I am now, trying to wrap my head around this crazy revelation. Linda's trying to make amends, and I'm doing the only thing I know how, making sarcastic remarks and drinking coffee while contemplating the meaning of life. And as for my adoptive family, they're still arguing over what the best way to handle this is. Like any normal family. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in this whole situation who's still sane. Or maybe I'm just not sane enough to handle it. Linda and I have been talking since this whole thing went down, and she's promised to answer all my awkward questions. Who knows what the future holds? Maybe I'll finally get the answers to all my adoption-related questions. Like, why do I have a bunch of scars from tripping on my own feet? Or why do I still try to cook ramen noodles on the stove? For now, though, I'm just savoring the chaos and being all like, when did all this go down? When did you realize I was your biological child? Why didn't you tell me I was a secret snack baby? Moving forward. So here I am now, trying to process everything that's happened recently. It's not every day that you find out you have a twin sister, let alone one who's been living a completely different life. But you know what they say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Or in my case, when life gives you a complicated family situation, make a killer YouTube video to cope with it. I've decided to give Linda a chance. We're taking things slow, getting to know each other, and trust me, it's been an adventure. We started with the basics. Where are you from? What do you like to do for fun? The whole 9 yards. But then, things got really interesting. We discovered that we both love eating donuts for breakfast, and that we have the same weird habit of talking to ourselves in the mirror. Yeah, I know, it's a real party trick. My relationship with my adoptive family is complicated, to say the least. Sarah still isn't speaking to me because of the money, but honestly, I'm okay with that. If someone is only going to love you if you're rich, then I'd rather not have their love. It's weird, I know, but it's just how I feel. But what's even weirder is that I've been hanging out with Linda, and we just recently had a family dinner with her adoptive parents. It was interesting. They're super normal, which is a welcome change from my own family's drama. We even had a conversation about my family without anyone getting upset, which is a huge accomplishment, trust me. Sometimes the family you're born into isn't the only family you get to have. Sometimes life gives you a second chance at finding where you belong. And let me tell you, I'm feeling like I'm finally finding my place in the world. It's like I've been living in a cardboard box my whole life, and now I've finally found a cozy little house to call my own. If you guys enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Drop a comment below if you've ever experienced something similar. I'd love to hear your stories.